Hey, welcome to another installment of Where in the World, where we've been spending the whole week in Argentina and Patagonia. By now, if you've been tuning in, you know our good friend Luciano Ianotti. Good morning, Luciano. How are you?
Very good. How are you? Good morning.
I'm great as well. How could I not be with this beautiful Morena Glacier behind me? Um, Fresh air that I'm breathing. Hey, so we're going to do a little PowerPoint this morning. Luciano is going to do the driving this morning because I confess I've not been to Patagonia. I'm super excited to come next spring and bring a group and experience all these things firsthand, but expertise is not quite there yet for me, even to the point of being able to do a PowerPoint. So Luciano is going to be our driver this morning. Just some nuts and bolts. I heard from our colleague Osha this morning. She is our tango expert, and we are going to be able to fit her in tomorrow, 10 a.m. Seattle time. You can adjust your time if you want to tune in live and see my conversation with Osha about Argentine tango. She's a Swedish expat that has lived for a number of years in Buenos Aires and fell in love with tango, and she's going to share that passion with us. So that's it for announcements. And next week, Where in the World, we'll be going to Vietnam. So we'll have a whole week of programming ready for you next week. So without further ado, Luciano, let's dive right in and see some great images of what will be the imprint tour of Patagonia next spring. So take it away.
All right, let me just do the share screening.
Oh, do I need to give you control, or are you able to?
I think you have to give me control because I can't from here.
I'm trying to remember how we did. Oops, that's not it.
It worked very good yesterday, I think.
Okay, now you should be able to take control.
Yes, that's me. So this is what I'm having, and sure. And let's start from here.
Perfect.
All right. So everybody, welcome to Argentina. Welcome to Patagonia. Welcome to Imprint Tours. Listen, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to talk about the itinerary offer by Imprint. So I'm just going to run with how is the trip going to be, and the little details could be very, very important for such a trip like this. Reed asked me the other day if I do have a favorite place in Argentina or even in Patagonia, and that is a very hard question to answer. But if you tell me my favorite trip, it goes very, very, very near to this one. I very, very enjoy those places and the landscapes. People ask me if I get boring of them. The question, sorry. People ask me if I am tired of it, and I say I still take in photos of the same places. So believe me, you'll be in love of this. Well, guys, we start here. Let me move myself and read out here. Okay, well, guys, the first thing is Patagonia. Where is Patagonia? Well, Patagonia is the last continent part between Argentina and Chile. This is a phytogeographic region. I'm not sure if you use this term. So we have Argentina and Chile down here, all right? And then we have a river crossing in the middle. This is named Colorado River. You're very used with this name, Colorado. In Spanish means reddish. So this Colorado River is going to be the natural limit between Argentina and Patagonia. I mean, it's the same country, but we just get a limit. Then we have also Chile. Come on, guys. Chile has a very important part of Patagonia. In fact, we don't like to say Patagonia, Argentina, or Patagonia, Chile. We only say Patagonia. In this side, we have a great relationship with the locals in both of the sides because we work together very well. So it's amazing to have this relationship because they cross to our side and we cross to theirs, and we share all the highlights with the best energy and friendship possible, which I love. So, well, if you close your eyes, please don't do it because I need you to watch the photos, but let's say that in your mind you close your eyes and somebody says Patagonia. What is the first picture coming to your mind? Is going to be something like this. All right, so you will think Patagonia, beautiful green forest with great blue lakes and fantastic landscape with those mountains full of snow and glaciers. Yes, that's going to be only the 15% of Patagonia, which is this area down here near to the Andes. All right. The truth is that the rest of Patagonia is like this. It's very flat, it's very empty, it's very dry, it's very lonely and windy. Come on, guys, don't be afraid. I know this is not good promotion for Patagonia, but I have the expert down here, and we have some quotes of Charles Darwin that he kept thinking all the time and wrote in one of his books. He says, the glorious of the vegetation of the tropics rise before my mind, and the present time more vividly, than anything else. Thought, the sense of sublimity which the great deserts of Patagonia and the forest-clad mountains of Tierra del Fuego excited in me has left an indelible impression on my mind. I always remember this. In my first trip, I was reading a Charles Darwin book, and this is what I kept in my mind all the time, how this guy who was the scientist, the father of biologics, keep in love of a place in Patagonia. And the same thing happened to me. I really love to see these beautiful arid places. Well, guys, Patagonia shall be named Windagonia. It's very, very windy up there. If you see this guy, well, it was a photo made for him. No worries, it's not going to be that strong, but I put photos, my own photos of myself measuring the winds. So we can have very, very strong winds sometimes, especially the gusts. Have this measure. Both of them are done in the Gray Lake next to the Gray Glacier. All right, and also you can see that this is me myself just doing those measures. Here, this is kilometers per hour, so we're having 95 and 103. The strongest I measured in the area was 140. All right, so they are gusts. So you are just walking with maybe constant wind, and then boom, whatever is not tied to your body, believe me, is going to disappear. I have a funny story.
So for our American audience, forgive me for interrupting, but that's the 95 is around 60 miles an hour, and the 140 gusts he was talking about 85 miles an hour, just for your reference.
Thank you so much for that, Rita. Didn't thought to get the miles reference, but thanks a lot for that. So once, you know, if you see, I always dress a cap to protect my beautiful hair. So that day I was protecting my face by the wind, and I start to see the things of the objects of my passengers flying away. So black thing was a jacket, and you know, a red thing was a cap, and I saw something green, sandwich. That was a sandwich. So I was almost smashed by an avocado sandwich flying near to my head. Why I tell you this? I love to do a slogan to my passengers all the time. I don't like to repeat things, but some of them, especially for safety, are very good to have something very clear. And my slogan is Patagonia, be ready. If you read the forecast weather, will say sunny day, 25 degrees in the summer. Check here, we are all dressed in t-shirts. And you say, come on, you're in Patagonia. Well, summer you can get 25 degrees. I mean, weather could be spectacular. But if it's a sunny day, you can have snow in the middle of the summer. Be ready means always rain jacket, rain gear in your backpack, and always an extra layer. Why is this? Because weather changes a lot. I recommend always to have backpacks like you can see us here. This is the great example I'm showing. We have, she has a backpack of 35 liters. He don't. So he can't, he doesn't have enough space, enough room to get his jacket into the backpack. This is very important detail. Your backpack is going to have your lunch. Your backpack is going to have water. In some places, like the hikes we were doing this day, we are able to drink water of the streams. They're very, very clean, and this is water just coming from the glacier. Very great taste. But the size is very, very important. Talking about the gear, the backpacks, you taking also your cameras. Rain gear is very important. and a second extra layer like I was saying. So Patagonia, be ready, remember all the time, having your rain gear and extra layer for just in case, even if weather forecast says it's going to be a nice day. Just be ready. Well, something you're going to listen a lot, it's going to be the Patagonian ice fields. So what are the Patagonian ice fields? Well, this is the third biggest mass of ice in the world after Antarctica and after Greenland. So why I'm mentioning this? Because this is where they are in Argentina and Chile. They belong most to Chile than in Argentina, but we have a little part of them. This is just a little zoom of that area. You can see here the Argentino Lake, because Calafate will be down here and Moreno Glacier down here. And that's why I put also this bigger thing. So Reed might be sitting in this spot and he has all the beautiful view of the glacier in his back right here. All right. And then Torres del Paine, if Moreno Glacier is here, let's look at a better one. This one. If this is the Moreno Glacier, you have here the Gray Glacier. So imagine this is Torres del Paine. You see how close we are. When you are coming from Calafate to the glacier, we have like 80 kilometers. I'm going to talk about that later. In some places, you can see the peaks of the mountains of the Torres del Paine National Park. So imagine how close they are. They are located in the Patagonian ice fields. I mean, the glaciers that you will see in this trip are all of those coming from the Patagonian ice fields. Well, the tour will start in Buenos Aires, this beautiful city of Buenos Aires. This is the city of 3 million porteños. The city is divided between capital city and province city. Then in the province and the suburbs, which we named the Gran Buenos Aires, we have 11 million more people. So we have 3 million porteños and 11 million bonaerenses. So we're counting 14 million right now. And the whole province of Buenos Aires, we're having about 20 million people and 44 in the rest of the country. So you can check the half of the population living in Argentina. I'm not losing in time in these details, just for you to understand how big is the city. I found this flyer with a few of the highlights you will see in the city tour. All right. The first day is going to be a meeting. You might be there ready about 5 o'clock in the first day. Will be a meeting. It could be somebody like Reed or somebody else just leading the group and telling you what is going to happen and for you to understand how the tour is going to run. Next day, you will have this tour, which takes at least like 3 or 4 hours. All right. Some detail. When we name the places we're going to see, you might consider they are not chronologic. Why is this? First, strikes. Argentina could be the strike capital city. And believe me, when they do strike, they cut everything. So if we are in a hotel like near to, let's say, the cemetery of Recoleta, and we have a strike, we will have to start by the cemetery and also the area maybe of Palermo, and we will try to lose a bit of time there until we know if we can there in Plaza de Mayo, which is the May Square. There's where all the strikes happens, and it's one of the hotspots for our tour. So we really need to consider and leave that part which is in the middle of the city for the end. So then we probably take the long way to La Boca to try to end in Plaza de Mayo. The second phenomenon is going to be football, of course, as you call it, soccer. Well, if you go to La Boca, in La Boca we have La Bombonera, which is the Boca Juniors Stadium. And if we have a match there, the whole town is going to be cut because thousands of people will be around to get the game and the streets will be cut, and also can be a little dangerous for tourists to be around in that moment. So maybe that day we will start the tour in La Boca, all right, and trying to go then to San Telmo and then to Plaza de Mayo and to end between cemetery of Recoleta and also the Palermo area, all right? So here I'm showing a little bit. One of the questions I have is, why cemetery in the city tour? Well, this is the reason why. The cemetery has great sculptures, just like the cemetery in Paris. The architecture you find inside is crazy. I'm not going to tell you a lot because you will have a tour and you will see it by your own, but I just want to show you a little bit of why it's important to visit this dark place in the city tour. Then we're going to be in the Plaza de Mayo. Plaza de Mayo, this is the main square. So the most important buildings of the city are going to be here. Between the cemetery and Plaza de Mayo, you will see the obelisk, which is also one of monuments we share in common with the United States. That's the one you have in Washington. Ours is like 6 meters shorter, but it's almost the same architecture, same thing. I think they were given to both of the cities from a French government to commemorate, to celebrate the biggest biggest cities of the Americas. One of the theories. But well, we have here the May Square. This is how it looks. We have the Casa Rosada, the pink house, this one right here. In the bottom, right, this is the governmental palace. Then we have the Cabildo. This is the first government palace the country has, and this is located down here. You can see the tower. Then we have the cathedral on the side. It's important now because our actual pope is coming from that cathedral, and many other things to check around. The guide is going to be very, very, very happy to tell stories, like also the Madres de Mayo and all the stuff. Then guys, we going to La Boca. You know, boca means mouth, but in this case, it was not somebody like me who talks a lot. Mouth is the confluence of the Riachuelo to the Rio de la Plata. So it's the mouth of the river. Well, because it's a harbor city, also to not get in fact to the details, this is the first main harbor of the city where all the immigrants were arriving to Buenos Aires. Even well, I'll leave this for the tour, but even Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid arrived in this harbor after they left the States from New York beginning of the 1900s. That's a lot of story we share together. But well, this main harbor is where all the grain also was going to all around the world. We were a very important agriculture country, so we were exporting grain all around. And well, the colorful houses are going to be the main attraction. Here I have a picture of Caminito. In fact, there is a song of Juan de Dios Filiberto who talks about this place. So the guys will be in charge to tell you all of this. Why the colors also would be very nice to tell, but you know, the ships were just getting paint once they go to a harbor, and all the remains were just given to the people who were painting their houses. Sometimes one color was not enough, and they keep with the other, and this is how it got. Then we have Quinquela Martin. He was an artist, a plastic artist, who was very poor. He grew in the streets, and then he began to be a very important artist, and he's the one who turned back the colors to the town, so you will hear a lot of him too. Well, guys, welcome to Patagonia. The next day, we are taking a flight from Buenos Aires, a bit up here, down to El Calafate, all right? This is about 3 hours and a half, 4 hours flight, all right? So it's gonna be a long day. Then from the airport to El Calafate, we are going to have about 15 to 20 minutes, so it's not that far. Once you get to El Calafate, this is how the town is going to look like. It's a beautiful, beautiful little city. They'll have about 25,000 inhabitants. Just be around of the park. Yesterday I mentioned that they have an ecological reserve if you like to see some wildlife, which is named Nimes, like N-I-M-E, Nimes Lagoon. This is a great place to go to see some flamingos and some other impressive wildlife. So you'll be very, very happy to visit this place. Otherwise, be around on the town. The town is fantastic. Go to have a coffee, ice cream, beer. Something great in Patagonia, if you're a beer lover, every town has lots of local breweries. I never can pronounce that word, but you will have very, very good local beer in most of the places you go. Well, we have a afternoon right there, good places to go. Listen guys, if Argentina is famous for steak, Patagonia is famous for lamb. If you are coming from the UK or you want to say no lamb, come on, just go there and taste it. Many people has been surprised. And also we are a wine republic. So during your time in Argentina, a Malbec wine can be a great asset for most of the food you are taking. All right, so after we have a great dinner, we go for bed, we check our batteries, we check our memories, and next day we ready to go to Moreno Glacier. I couldn't really find a good thing, but here the idea, as Reed has in the bottom, I've tried to find this to just show you little things. The most important, sometimes people ask me about the hikes around to the Perito Moreno. This is because there is a very famous ice trek, right, which was not included in the itinerary. This is sometimes because it's too long and we have an age limit. So I already know your age, so please and do not misunderstood. But I want to show you this. If you check the way, we have passares. We have very, very well and easy walking trails to go. The floor is made with iron, so you will not really be in touch with the ground. It is a lot of stairs, consider that. So will be like 5 kilometers walking around, very easy, but in some places you will have to go up and down for a lot of stairs. The glacier is about 100 to 300 meters, depending where you're watching it, all right? And you'll see a lot of crevasses all the time, so it's gonna be a spectacular day. It's not easy that you could do in sandals, but remember, you're going to a glacier, so sandals would not be a good idea. I make this reflection for you to understand that it's going to be very easy day to walk. Then the glacier is 80 kilometers away of the town. So if in the town you read it's going to do 25 degrees, remember you're coming to glacier and it will be 3 or 2. So Patagonia, be ready. Remember that the idea is to enjoy as much as you can. Well, here, this is the front. We have 3 faces of the glacier. We call this one the front face. Then this is this will be the south face, and this will be the north face of the glacier. All right. Why I'm mentioning this? You are going to be in touch all the time, mostly with the north face. You're going to be in this area around here, but you'll have spectacular views of the north and the south. All right. Boat rides, you do have a boat ride this day, so we'll have to check with the local guides, depending of how much people will be and the timings we can do to do the north or the south face. Both of them are great to see. Then this little one I offer you here, so we have a better view of it. They will explain the rupture phenomenon, how it works. I don't really want to go on that because it will be too much information. What I want you to know is what you need, right? Food. This day, we are going to be the whole day in this area. So the choices you will have will be to bring your own food or to buy the food in the coffee place of the Moreno Glacier. My recommendation is bring your own food. The reason is you're gonna pay like what you pay for one empanada, you will buy 3 in the town, all right? So in the town, you'll have markets where you can really make your own. If you think, come on, I want to enjoy the town, I don't want to spend time doing shops, we as guides, I mean, as tour guide, as trip leaders, we can make it happen, all right? But the price, you can have a lunch in a local restaurant, you can have a great meal for 2 persons just to take, and they bring that to the hotel. What I do normally with my groups, the day before, I tell people, listen, this is the choices. You can buy there, expensive. You can do your own shops if you have time, or I can arrange it for you. So this is the price. This is what it comes. They have, because it's a chef, it's a business for a chef, very good friend of mine. This is why I trust them. They have all the diets. So if I have a vegetarian, celiac, whatever diet I have, I just tell them what I need and they send me to the hotel with marks. How it works, that afternoon, I just collect the money of the ones who want me to be in charge of that. I make reservation, and next day in the morning, they come, when I'm having breakfast, they come to leave that to me in the hotel, and I just pay that to them. So that is going to be a great idea. Read if you need those details also, feel free. I can give all that information for you whenever you need it. But I think that that's going to be the best choice. Normally they give me a very nice sandwich, and I tell you, it could be enough for 2 persons if you don't have a big stomach like mine. And very good salad. They have a salad in a little tupper with also they give you some sachets with the olive oil and some lemon. And I mean, it's a very complete, with a bottle of water and also fruits, so, and a little dessert. So, you know, she and her husband is the one who bring me the food to the hospital, to the to the hotel. I don't know what I'm thinking. Sorry for that. To bring me the food to the hotel. So it gets very easy for you. It's just a service we can do. All right. Well, guys, this is the boat ride and the views you can have. I choose these pics because you can have a dimension of the glacier. All right. The passerelles were behind this peak of ice down here. So this is the front view you have to the glacier. This is the boat ride of the south face. All right. I think, you know, it's very touristic, but I do like this tour, to tell you the truth. You really have a sensation of how big is the glacier. Imagine this is a wall of 80 meters, and underwater, the glacier is still going for 300 meters. So it's amazing to see that beautiful mass of ice. And this picture is the same, it's also the same boat even, but it's a different time. What happened here is the tunnel was made. This will be explained by the guys. And here was destroyed. This is a phenomenon happening 4 to 5 years in between, because the glacier is moving. So what happened here? The whole tunnel was destroyed. Now, in the next years, the glacier will keep advancing down here, making this formation again and falling down all the time. Well, guys, next day, we are going to Torres del Paine. Here I search some things that I prefer you to know this before you're leaving home. All right. A trip like this we are doing by land, and it's going to be just to the border between Argentina and Chile from Calafate. It's going to take about 4 hours. All right. If you see the map, they're very close. Yes, they are, but it's going to take about 4 hours to get there. All right. And then you're going to you live in the forest. Calafate is already on the steppe desert, remember, flat, dry, empty. And then all this day is going to be in that part. And you might say, all right, I mean, we can stop in the way for toilet, right? And the answer is no. Why no? Well, yes and no. The first no is, remember how was Patagonia, the first picture I show you, how flat and dry? The tallest bush in that area will have no more than 25 centimeters. So if you can hide yourself behind that, good luck. The other is
10 inches.
Yep. The thing is, we have a stop in the first 2 hours. So I put a little map here. We live in Calafate, and we take 2 hours all the way up to La Esperanza. Here we have a hotel, which is this one, and you can see how big is the town. And then we have a gas station. Why I'm showing you those places? Because normally, if we have a big bus in front of us, a big bus will have at least 52 persons. And all of them are going to be inside to use the toilets and to get some coffee and some snack. And you will have to make a very long queue. So second choice, just like you see in this picture, you cross the street and you'll get to this gas station. Here you'll have a toilet, and you will also have some snacks to buy and some coffee ready to go. We do here 15 minutes stop all the time. And the idea is to leave early to get also early to the border. Well, we live in this area, and we come back to the map. So we did Calafate all the way to La Esperanza, and then we return to the border. All right. Sorry, we were here, return to the border. Sometimes the maps like this one show you a shortcut here. What happened? First, this is not paved. And then you lose this stop. So you will do a trip, maybe 3 hours with no toilets, with no snacks. All right. Then thing you have to know, to Chile this day, you cannot bring food like ham or cheese or fruits, right? I always make a just a joke to my passengers saying you can have a full brick of cocaine, but if you have a tangerine, they get mad. All they look is for fruit. If you have a banana or if you have whatever fruit you have, you just have to throw it up to the rubbish. This is to avoid getting any kind of sickness or illness to the other country. It's a control they do. So you will have to stop in the border. You will have to take all your luggage off the bus you go in. You will have to go to customs. They will scan the whole thing after they stamp your passport, and then you will be back to the bus and keep on the go. All right. A border crossing. I can't tell you this day at what time you will be in Puerto Natales in your hotel, because border crossing could be done in 20 minutes or could be done in 6 hours. So this happened. Remember, we are having an extra luggage of patients to take with us in the trip. So that's the moment to open it and enjoy it. All right. This is part of travel in Patagonia. Well, guys, this is the border crossing. So right now we are in this spot down here. Border crossing. We are going to do 2 stops. The first one is in Argentina, which is in my right side. All right. So if you see this little house, that's migrations. And sometimes now you see a motorcycle. Sometimes from this place to the lawn, you can see the road. You will see buses waiting. All right. Inside you will have 2 windows, not just 2 windows, but 2 persons just stamping. And then they take their time to copy the passport. Maybe they have a soldier who has never seen a keyboard in his life, and he's trying to write a name in English. So this is, I mean, this time you need to understand that will be cold, will be windy. You'll be queuing outside because it's a little room. So guys, please, this day, be patient. You will need to be very, very patient. Sometimes they let you wait in the car. Sometimes they make you do a queue. All depend of who is the boss that day. Then from here to the border, you will have about 7 kilometers. And then you get to Chile. In Chile, you will have a little house. So this is the place where you take all your luggage down. They're very quick. They're more efficient than Argentines. Argentines are more lazy for that. But Chileans, they do have a system. They just go ahead. They're very polite. They will tell you what to do very quick. You will have to do a queue, but I promise it will go very faster than the Argentine one. So you'll be very happy that day to be crossing the border to Chile. Well, after you cross the border, you will have to go back to the bus and do something like 20 meters in the bus to get to this place down here. This is named El Ovejero, the shepherd. And this is the second most important stop of the way, because this guy has toilet, food, exchanging. So all you will need that day is going to be in this place here named the shepherd. You will have inside a gaucho dressed in a Hawaiian shirt. So it's very funny, the mix, to see a gaucho like you saw Xavier the other day with his boina, dressing a very colorful flower shirt. You will remind me that day when you see him. So he will exchange your Argentine money to Chilean. The price is not going to be good, but this is the only place where you will be really able to do it. If you compare the price in Argentina, will be also bad price to change. So I just hardly recommend people, come on, go there and do it. All right. For me, this is the best choice you'll have that day. So you leave in your Argentine money, you exchanging some Chilean money to have that around. And this day you will have lunch right here. All right. But this time you will say goodbye to the Argentine driver and you'll be having your meal also with the Chilean driver and with the Chilean guide. All right. And then to Puerto Natales, you're going to have 2 hours more traveling. All right. Well, the following day, we come into Torres del Paine. So this day we have a panoramic tour. We are going to see some of the highlights. All right. So this is, we'll have 3 important mountains there. We have the Paine Grande, which is not in this photo. Then we have the Cuernos del Paine, and then we have the Almirante Nieto, and the towers are just behind the Almirante Nieto, and we can see one of them down here. But the important view is going to be this. To get here is a very long hike, which you're not doing that day, but you will do a stop in a place named Laguna Amarga, which is an amazing stop for have, if weather helps, for have a good shot of the power of the Torres del Paine, and not like you see, oh my God, are they the towers? No, no, you will have it. Wow, amazing. I mean, you can have a great photo of them with your cell phone. So this day you are going to see also the Pehuele, the Salt. I mean, you will have some great things. This is the Gray Glacier. It's not going to be that spectacular like the Moreno, but believe me, you will have the same effect. I mean, you will have a lot of feelings crossing right there. I don't have you. They do have a boat ride, but I don't know if this day you will have time for that. That's for, I leave that for read later. Well, guys, some of the highlights. We have the, you know what, I choose these photos because they don't make any justice to the places. So this is the view I was talking about from the Laguna Amarga, all right? So you can see the towers, you can see the Almirante Nieto Mountain. I mean, you will have, wow, the view. Then about, I think it's 45 minutes away, you have the Cascada Paine. Here it doesn't look also like impressive, but once you're there, you'll be in love with it. And then you have the towers at the bottom. So the picture with the cascade, I mean, this waterfall, and also the towers at the bottom, amazing. Remember, weather has to be there with you, all right? If weather is not good, we just talk later with Reed. I have a trick to teach him of how to make a weather dance. And then also we have the Salto Grande. This is a waterfall with a nice trail to get here to see this little waterfall. This place is very windy, so when you go down of the car, the driver will tell you, or the guide will tell you, guys, get your windbreakers and take care. Well, then we traveled back to Calafate the following day. I decided, I didn't say, from Puerto Natales to the park is going to be 2 hours. And from Park to Natales, 2 hours more. So you have to consider that for the day. I'm missing one thing. The last day you are having a boat ride from Puerto Natales to the glacier, to the Balmaceda and Serrano Glacier. I missed those photos. I just missed that place. I'm sorry for that. But yes, this is going to be an amazing trip. I really like it because you do in the fjord and you get to the end of the Serrano River and the ocean. So sometimes if you do a little boat, you can put the water behind you and water and taste salt and then taste sweet. But sometimes if you're lucky, you will see some sea lions and some very beautiful wildlife, sometimes whales. But remember, this is about luck, right? It's not a promise, it's just about how lucky you are. Well, we return to the Calafate, so we will do the same border, crossing border again, and all the way down to Calafate, right? And then we fly to Ushuaia. It's going to be like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. It's not a very long trip. And once in Ushuaia, guys, this is the end of the world, all right? So the city is fantastic. We're talking about 100,000 inhabitants without counting penguins. I tell you, it's a great place. You will love this town. Something you might try here is the king crab. Puerto Natales and Ushuaia, they are great places to have king crab. Like in Puerto Natales, there is a restaurant where they do king crab ravioli. It's my favorite. And down here, they do like a casserole of king crab, which is also great. Chile is a good place for fish. They are the first producers of salmon in South America. So during your time in Chile, try to do salmon and all the seafood, and steak and lamb in Argentina are going to be the great. But lamb is the culture of Patagonia. So no matter if you do in each side of the border, it will be good. Ushuaia, we'll go back to the king crab. That's going to be a great asset for the first meal. You will love it. But also you have good ice cream. Remember, we have a lot of Italian tradition. So whenever you walk in Argentina, you have good ice cream. I have a photo of the Beagle Channel showing the city in the bottom. Next day, you will have a tour into the Beagle Channel. So this day, we have a boat ride. This boat ride is going to come all the way to show you first the Cormoran Islands, right? Then you do a bit more and you will see the Sea Lion Island. This is how short, I mean, how close the boat get to the islands. So you can do spectacular photos from there, all right? Then you keep sailing, you do the Les Éclaireurs lights. This is a French name that I'll never learn how to pronounce. And then you come all the way down to Martillo Island. If you take only the boat ride, all right? The boat ride, remember I said the other day, they're not allowed to get down to walk between the penguins, but the penguins are coming to the boat. So this is how close you see them, right? If you see the boat gets very, very near to the animals, the same is happening here. And then the way back. The way back, you already saw the highlights. So you will have at least like maybe a bit more than 1 hour coming back. So that's the moment to go for coffee, to relax, to check your photos in your camera. Remember, you're on holidays, right? Don't think about time. And in the evening, of course, on the way back, you will have a beautiful meal again. So that's going to be amazing. Argentina is a country for food. I mean, we eat a lot. So I promise you will go back home with few kilos more. And that's not my fault or even Ritz. That's going to be Argentina's fault. Well, guys, the other kind of trip is done by the Harberton farm. So you take a bus coming to the Harberton farm, right? And they will show you a museum they have with few things. Then you take a Zodiac to go to the Martillo Island where you see the penguins. And sometimes, depending on the tour, which will be available that day, you have to return by land or return by water. What happened here? They don't take reservations. So it's very hard to find a place to take those boat rides. In our case, because we have contacts, we can talk like a few days before and make sure, like what I do is, if this is not included, like in my case, which is not, I think you do have it, right, Reed? This is included, right, in the tour?
Yes, yes.
Good. So in this case, Reed will be in charge of that. And because he has already the money, he can make a difference. In my case, what I do in the very beginning of the trip, I just charge that to my people if they don't have it included. And I tell them, listen, I have the money, send me the places, and I try to pay them already, because once I paid, they have to give it to me or get in trouble. All right. And well, I think this is it in Ushuaia. I didn't see any more activities. Reed, tell me if I am missing anything on this tour.
No, that looks like a very nice summary of our tour of Argentina and Patagonia.
Believe me, you are going to enjoy this. I mean, this tour will keep in your mind for a lot. You will meet a lot of people. Remember, this is going to be a group trip, all right? That means you will have to share everything. Also, Argentina is a country for sharing. So whatever you do, whatever, everything is going to be done for a share. This is going to be the amazing most. Something about Ushuaia, guys. Okay, you have to keep in mind. If you read weather before you go, every day will say rain, all right? The truth is, you can have 4 seasons per hour. So you'll have breakfast and you will see that it's very beautiful sunny day. So you go up, you wash your dishes, as we say in Argentina, and you come down to the lobby to wait the guide, and it's snowing. Come on, it was sunny 5 minutes ago. So you go down to pick up your jacket, and by the time you are down of your room to the elevator, weather has changed again. So this will be very cold place. The highest temperature they can have here is going to be 15 degrees, right? Because here you are more exposed to the winds. So remember, in Ushuaia, you will need to be all the time more like ready than the rest of the trip. But for me, I work with some agencies who start in Ushuaia and end in Calafate. I think this is the best way to do, because you will feel more relaxed down here, and you will feel like all the heavy trip in your bags will be like here free. You're already ending and looking all this amazing wildlife. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Whatever, if there is something I could be missing, Reed, let.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we do have the extension to Iguazu Falls. Do you happen to have a couple of shots of Iguazu that you can put up, or? I know you didn't prepare for that, but do you quickly have some? If you don't worry about it.
I didn't, but I can explain some. All right. You're doing both of the sides, right? Argentina and Brazil.
Sorry, say again.
Are you doing Argentina and Brazil?
Yes, both sides.
And which you doing first? I didn't put too much attention in that.
I think we're doing Argentine side first and then Brazil the second day.
Beautiful. And you're having there 2 or 3 nights.
2 nights.
Beautiful. So this is what is going to happen. You will be in Buenos Aires. So you're going to take a plane for 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on the day, to Iguazu Falls. Once you get there, you're coming from Patagonia with 5 degrees, and probably you'll be in Iguazu with 30. So it's going to be like, wow. Forget about Patagonia, be ready. If you have rain in Iguazu, come on, just get wet. That's it. If you get a rain jacket, all this humidity of your body will be condensate and you will get wet anyway. So come on, you know, holidays. What I would recommend you for both of the sides is to have an extra t-shirt or be easy dry, because you will be exposed to the vapor, to the spray of the falls in the trails. So for the Argentine side, you will need a full day. So I'm considering this day you're arriving, the hotel is not going to be ready, so it doesn't make any sense to go to check in. All right, even you can leave the luggage in the van. Believe me, if you go to the hotel to leave the luggage, you will be losing time. So just leave everything there. Iguazu is very safe, so you will not need anybody to watch the car, and the car is in the parking in the national park, so nothing is going to happen. Believe me, everything is going to be safe right there. So this day, get ready for the clothes you're going to use in the park and to get wet. All right. The trails, it is a lot to walk, so use the shoes that you are used to walk with. I'm not going to tell you to take the hiking shoes or the sandals. Sandals, if you are not used to them, that'll be a bad idea. But if you are a person who are with sandals all the time, they can help. What happens is your feet will be in sometimes wet. So if you don't really know how to walk with sandals and your wet feet can be kind of uncomfortable for you. All right. About food, we do have a good place there for have lunch, and it's not that expensive like in Calafate. In my opinion, I tell people, guys, don't think about food. You'll have a restaurant with a lot of places. You have one which is a buffet, and the good thing of this buffet is like you just see all the variety of food they have, and that'll be adequate to all your diets. So this is going to be a very, very good choice for you. You're going to be paying something like 20 US, 20 to 25 US for the whole buffet. And it's buffet. I mean, once you think it was enough what you got, stand up, go again, get it back to your dish, and that's it. You just pay for your drinks. All right. Then it's impossible to know who's going to be your guide, but my recommendation is some guides love to have the devil's throat to the end. What happened in the end is going to be that much people that you will not really enjoy it. Try to get with the first, I mean, leave the hotel very early as you can. The park opens at 8 o'clock. If you can arrive to the park at 7:30 and wait there, believe me, it's going to be the best thing you can do. Then you have a little train. You have the train to the last station, to the Devil's Throat. And once you're there, just walk 2 kilometers to see it. If you can take the first train, right? I mean, it will be a lot of people there because you will not be like the very, very first, but will be more people there. The good thing is you will be like with the first group arriving to this part, so it will not be that much crowded as it can be in the afternoon. In the afternoon could be that much people that maybe you will not even be able to see the highlight. And that's the important most of the park. So try to do it first. After that, you just relax the rest of the day. Then they will offer you a boat ride, a short and a long. My opinion, take the long. The short, you just
forgive me. 1 minute and we need to wrap.
Okay, one minute. All right. Sorry for that. So well, choose the long. The guy will explain you why, and you'll be coming back to the hotel around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. all right? Sometimes there is a tax you pay, but this is something you will know just getting closer to the date. Normally the agencies like to include that, so you will maybe not even know. Well, second day, you crossing to Brazil. The border crossing is very easy. Sometimes there is traffic, but it's even much easier and quick than in Patagonia. What happened here is normally guide or driver, they take all the passports, they go to the window, they stop everything, they come back. All right, let's go. And you do something like from the town to the border, 20 minutes, from the border to the falls, 20 minutes more. And this is only 1.5 hour walk. So don't rush that day, all right? Just remember you have a flight to take. The flight, you will have time for that probably. So do this 1.5 hours, taking your time to the photos. Brazilian side, I like to do it later because the best views of the falls are from Brazil. In Argentina, you feel them, you touch them, you are in the falls. In Brazil, you see them. So they complement each other. If you see only one country, you are losing a lot. So if you do both of them, even better. In the bottom, normally this day, the guide just leave you. They explain you a couple of things, they give you free time, and they will get they will set with you a meeting point. So you will meet your local guide in that meeting point. You will have time for coffee. If this is lunchtime and you have time, maybe you can have lunch there. And then to the airport is 15 minutes. So it's an amazing half day. Could be a bit rushed, but you are enjoying as much as you can. So then I don't know if you're coming back to Argentina or you can keep going to Brazil, depending on how your trip keeps on the go. I hope this is enough.
All right, Luciano, we've run out of time. I'm going to have to move on to another broadcast here. I super appreciate all the time you've taken this week. That was absolutely excellent. Gave us a really good visual feel for what the tour is going to be like and a good verbal description of what the Iguazu experience is going to be. Good tips. I was making notes the whole time.
So yeah.
Thank you. And everybody, tune in tomorrow if you want to see my little conversation with Osha about Argentine tango and being an expat living in Buenos Aires. Otherwise, keep on traveling and travel with intent. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Rick. Thanks for everything.